What's up, everyone? Welcome to a True Underground Story podcast. I'm the host, Timmy Burner. Today, I'm with They Call Me PYT. Tell the people a little bit about yourself. Like, I know you're from Carson, California, but is that where you have always grown up, is out there in Carson?
Well, I was born in Torrance, neighbor right to Carson. I was raised in Carson, but I have lived in Long Beach, California, Palmdale, California, and Los Angeles, California. And I'll say that moving around to those three cities and the time that I spent there, it also shaped the person and the artist that I became. So, yeah.
What was your childhood like growing up in Carson?
In Carson, it was fun. You got the manicured lawns. You feel me? You ain't really. We didn't really have to worry about being able to walk outside and play outside. So it was fun. It was the type of community where when the street lights came on, kids had to be in the house. Hopping the fences to get in the sewer. Yes, I was that child. No, for real. I'm a girl, you feel me? I do the makeup and all that, but I was very much a tomboy. Playing basketball. We used to have a basketball court in the middle of the street. Carson, it was really fun. You had to conduct yourself like you had some sense though. Because if not, because it's like a community, kind of like a family community, people will call your mom, and call your grandma or your dad or whoever and tell them like, hey, such and such cutting up. So growing up in Carson, you had to have some sense.
Speaking of basketball, when I was going through your Twitter, you had a tweet that I found interesting. You kind of got on the NBA when they did their top 10 list and had Kobe at 10.
Like, I'm still mind boggled by that. When I watch ESPN, it amazes me how, rest in peace to Kobe. I actually have the newspaper and I will never give it away. When he first passed, I kept it. So rest in peace to Kobe. But when he was alive, kind of like how people say when Tupac was alive, nobody would ever say nothing about him because they know he would pull up. Same thing with Kobe. Would nobody dare have put Kobe number 10? And sometimes on ESPN, shout out to ESPN, but sometimes they'll put like Michael number 1, LeBron number 2. You may have Kobe like number 5. And no, I grew up in the Kobe era, and I'm sorry. No shade to LeBron or whatever, but you ain't Mamba.
Yeah.
You ain't Mamba mentality, you feel me? So, not like that, but I don't agree with that. What you think? Did you think that was cool to put Kobe number 10?
Not a 10, no. Kobe's always top 3. Kobe's always top
Straight
3.
up.
Kobe is a top 3 player. One of the most clutch guys I've ever watched play the sport. Just
You better.
when there was 2 minutes left in the game, he always took over.
Always. And when they lost, he made sure, you feel me, to take accountability if he did miss his free throws, if he did miss his shots. He was in the gym.
Yeah.
You feel me? Forget the partying. He was in the gym. Clutch. So.
I agree. Yeah. So, how long have you been making music now?
I have been doing music. Don't be shocked. But I've been doing music for 20 years.
Damn.
20 years. Yeah.
Now,
never stop.
When I was doing some research, I noticed in an interview you talked about your introduction to music kind of actually started at the age of 11 when you started writing poetry.
Yes.
What got you into writing poetry at that age?
Well, I was very shy growing up. I didn't talk a lot. Yeah, I didn't talk a lot. So for me, I wrote out everything, not really for people to see. It was just for me. So I started writing like poetry in my journal. And then poetry, it allowed me to express myself. And then from there it went to writing songs, but it wasn't rap. It was R&B because it was like Brandy, Destiny's Child. When I was in elementary, Monica, it was Aaliyah. It was that type of time. So I was writing R&B songs And yeah, it was just a way for me to express myself. I started writing short stories, like really like little novels type thing. And it was just for me. It wasn't for anybody else. And it just allowed me to express myself. That's all.
And then you got your stage name, They Call Me PYT, by your friends because you have a huge love for Michael Jackson.
Yes, sir.
Was his song Pretty Young PYT your favorite track of his, or did it just come about that that's what you guys went with?
Actually, no. How that came about was because when I moved to LA, coming from Carson to LA, like I said, it was very different. When I moved to LA, I didn't really know about gangbanging. I didn't know that you can't walk on that street because that's such and such, territory or hood. So my friends, like I was real like sheltered. So when I met, and I love my friends, when I met the friends that I've grown to call family, or grew to call family, they kind of took me under their wing. And it was Michael Jackson and everything. Michael Jackson. That was before he passed. So they just was like, okay, my homeboy Chevy was like, well, we're going to call you PYT. A little square, Michael Jackson fan. So we're going to call you PYT. And they call me in front due to copyright and trademark. Michael Jackson, of course, has PYT. And then Diddy had a group in the 90s, pop group called PYT. So I couldn't be PYT. So they called me, and it worked out because they do call me that. So
now, on your YouTube, your banner is of a tattoo that says They Call Me PYT. Did you really get it tatted on you? Oh,
first and only.
Nice.
So the story behind that, rest in peace to my friend LV. She passed last year due to diabetes, but she was tatted. And I want to say this is probably like in 2017, 2018. We went to a tattoo shop or whatever, and she was like, "You gonna get a tattoo today?" And I'm like, "Nah." And I did it. And the reason why it's so thin is because it's not finished. The reason why it's so thin is because I screamed, I hollered, I squirmed. And he was like, well, let me double it and I guess make it more artistic or whatever. And I was like, nah, dude, I'm good. It's on there. I'm straight.
So what was some of the music that you kind of grew up listening to as a kid?
Man. Okay, so growing up, my mom, she would play, there wasn't any rap music. Not until I probably was a teen, and that was due to my brother loving Tupac, and my mom felt close to him by playing Tupac whenever he was incarcerated. But growing up, it was like Tracy Chapman, Motown, gospel, the Clark sisters, Kirk Franklin, Michael Jackson, of course, I'll Be Sure, Sonny and Cher, Friends and Lovers. My mom, she was dope. Like my mom, she's very diverse in music. Like I remember her playing KF 101. And if I play it today, I know every song on KF 101. Like I swear, there's no song, country, blues, pop, 80s pop, whatever. It's not a song on there that I don't know. So music in my household was very diverse.
Do you remember who like the first hip hop artist was that you heard and just like kind of fell in love with, aside from Tupac? That like,
everybody be trying to play him, but Bow Wow, yeah, little Bow Wow. That was the first hip hop artist that I heard, and I was like, that's who made me want to rap. Because when I heard him, it's like, oh, it's a little kid. I was born in the 90s, you feel me? But when Criss Cross was doing their thing, I was a little kid. So I knew the song Jump, but I wasn't into their music, right. So when Bow Wow came out, it was just like seeing this little 13-year-old kid, you feel me? And he's spitting. Yeah, I fell in love with
Yeah. People be playing with Bow Wow, but he had a lot of hits. Not even just at that age, but he had hits as he got older
it.
too. Like,
Man.
um,
What's your favorite Bow Wow track?
probably "Let Me Hold You" with him and Omarion.
Okay.
The first one that
I
always
feel
comes to my
it.
mind, and that's probably one that got the most play in my teenage years.
That's what's up. No, that ain't no lie. That song was played on the radio at every party. The music video was number one.
Yeah.
Shout out to Bow Wow.
I can't remember the name. He had a song with Sierra too that was pretty good. I can't think of the name of it though.
Like You.
Like You.
Yes. Don't forget that one.
Um, what did your mom and your brothers think like when you started making music? What were their thoughts on you trying to pursue becoming a hip hop artist?
Well, like I said, I was real quiet. I was very shy. My mom was my mom was the first person that noticed, okay, she's doing something in her room. She would find my journals and stuff. Uh, she would um, she would read them. I didn't know that until she told me, like after the fact. But she told me she would read them, and she's like, you got poetry, short stories, and songs and stuff like that. So she started paying attention to what I was doing, and she heard me in my room, like I was spitting some lyrics I wrote, and she, at 13, there was no conversation. She signed me up for a talent show at the Carson Mall, my first ever performance. I had never performed, never recorded, nothing. And she was just like, "You're going to perform. Like, you're going to perform in front of all these people. You're going to do this." I basically like, I want to see you. So she prepared me that day and all that. And I wrote some bars. I'm not gonna say it was a song. I just wrote a whole lot of lyrics to Trick Daddies, Trick Love the Kids, and I performed that night. And from then it was just like, okay, that's what you're gonna do. She had me. I'm talking about the reason why I know music business. She had me at every music seminar, every writing seminar, every talent show she could find. And I'm not even talking about in LA, all up and down California. Like I was working. I was in school and all of that stuff. You feel me? I wasn't no Jackson 5 or nothing. It was like I had a childhood, but she made sure that she focused. She made sure that I focused on my talent. Like, okay, this ain't nothing to play with. You really are talented. And it's to the point that in her store, she has a storage unit. Majority of the bins, the clothes bins that people use,
Yeah, yeah.
the majority of those clothes bins, those are all my lyrics, all my short stories, all my poetry, right hand to God. I kid you not. And she's been paying that storage for years. I have one bin here and one box, and it's full of like old CDs from when I was recording back in the day. And I look at my old lyrics, and it's just like, wow, my mom, she really, yeah, she knew.
Have you ever thought of like recording some of those or re-recording some of those older tracks and just making like a EP of like back in the day or something?
Man, you sound like her. She tells me that all the time. I have used some of the lyrics. I have used some of the lyrics in songs. There are times where I go in it. The one that I have is so many folders. Like if I took one out every day and they're full of lyrics and full of songs, I wouldn't still use this in a year. I promise to God. Like I go back to the lyrics and I'll read some of the stuff. See, back in the day, I was more like metaphors. I was more like not battle rap, but because I was a girl, it was like, oh no, I gotta chew your head off. You feel me? And then with my mom being a teacher, my grandma being a teacher, your verbiage, you had to have a wide vocabulary.
Yeah.
You had to know how to use your words. So I was writing some stuff. So I do go back sometimes and I'll take out, things that I like. I'll make it a hook or whatever. But that's a good idea. I think I will, yeah, like really record maybe full songs. I may take and add some stuff, but I'm gonna record some of them songs. I'm gonna think about that.
Um, So you're really big into branding. You have your own clothing line. Your hands deep in it. You have your clothes in a mall there in Carson. What is your typical, like, trying to think of the way to word it, marketing scheme for when you're about to drop a project? Because I know that you, for your Pearl Heart EP, you bought billboards in Carson. Is that something that you typically always do to try and promote your upcoming projects?
Shout out to Giga on those billboards for the Pearl Heart project. And then shout out to Global Hustle LA for the Pound Sign Bars Part 3. He had billboards up of that. So I thank you for that. But for me, yeah, I mean, like how I kind of do my YouTube, I kind of try to pattern myself after Bow Wow. If he posts a video, I post a video. If he posts a vlog, a day in the life type thing, then I gotta do that. And I'm not competing with him. I'm looking at the fact that he's a celebrity and these are things that he's doing and it's working. So I interpret that into my own grind. And then when it comes to the music, marketing my songs and stuff like that, billboards, DigiCard, shout out to Trap LA, DigiCards, the digital promotional cards, where it's your picture or your album on the front, and in the back is the QR code. Flyers, I've always done flyers. I've done, not always, I started with flyers in 2011. And ever since, I've always used those. My aunt, she bought a CD pressing machine, and she bought the software to make the covers. So I was printing up my own CDs, duplicating my own stuff back in the day. So to me, it's not nothing new. It's just all a part of promoting and marketing. Getting involved with community-based things, going to the malls, talking to the people. Shout out to Every Play Matters. They were the first store or boutique that I had my clothes in. So being able to, okay, this is my area, Carson is my area, that's where I'm from, I want people to know me, so let me put my clothes in here, let me market myself, let me put my albums in here, let me put my DigiCards in here, let me market myself, ads. Now that we're in the social media age, ads. I run ads every week. For the past maybe 3 years, I pay $30 a week and I run ads. Facebook, Instagram, you got YouTube ads, you got Twitter ads, you got SoundCloud promotion. All of those things tie into marketing because they reach people that you can't reach.
Right.
It's like for real, when you look at, the breakdown of your stats and it's like, wow, I got people in China, playing my music. I physically am not there. I'm not out there putting billboards, but the ads that are targeting, those areas and targeting the listeners that are attracted to the type of music that I make, you feel me? It's all marketing. It all works.
Now, when you created your clothing company, you started that back in 2011. It was called I Grind. What led to you making...
You did homework. You did homework.
I tried.
I like you.
What led to you creating that? Like, what gave you the idea that you were just going to be hands-on and just push to make your own merchandise?
Shout out to my hype man. Well, he was my hype man. My homie who gave me my name, Chubby Boy Swag. My brother, rest in peace. With that, I came up with the name I Grind because it was like I grind. That's what I was doing. And then the reason why I wanted to slap it on shirts is because we were like opening up for people like Dog Pound, opening up for people like Bone Thugs and Harmony. And I'm looking at the fact that they have on their own brands. They have their names, they're at shows and they're selling merch and stuff and people are wearing their brands. So I told my homie, like, nah, you feel me? I grind. Everything got to be I grind. And every performance damn near that we did, everything was I grind. Hats, shirts, shorts, whatever. The people who was coming to the shows, like, I I don't want to say fans, I'm going to say supporters, because at that time, those were our people. Those were our supporters. Everybody was pulling them to the swap meet. You know, it was no question. Everybody was pulling them to the swap meet. And what I explained to them was, it's marketing. You know, it's promotion for the artist and the brand. But at the same time, yeah, you got to brand yourself. It's cool to be up there in the pro club. It's cool to be up there in Gucci and all of that stuff. But at the end of the day, when people walk away from your performance, if they don't remember your name, they're going to remember what you had on. Oh, yeah, that girl had on, you feel me? So when they're talking about you after the show, I wanted them to be like, yeah, I like that I shirt. And it was to the point where people did become fans. And people were, you know, where can I get this? Or people were going to make their own, you know, coming to the show. And it's like, oh, shit, you got an eye, you know? So, yeah, I always knew, like, nah, I got to make sure my name, my image, everything got to stick. When a person walk away from my show or when they leave me, they got to remember something about me.
Now, you've done quite a few interviews, which is where I learned a lot about, got a little bit of details on you. You did an interview with Big Ski TV on No Jumper. How did you get introduced to all the guys from No Jumper? Because you even have a song with AD.
Shout out to Big Ski. Shout out to AD. That's through Giga Entertainment. That's who I worked with on the Pearl Heart project. And he had a friend who knew someone. You already know. You know how I go. I got a friend, you know. So he hooked that up for us. Shout out to Justin. Justin, he is the friend of the friend. So he tied all of that in. And yeah, came out with the song Big Bands with AD and Fresco Santana. Shout out to Fresco. And then I met Ski because Ski is AD's brother. So I met him at the video shoot. And then after that, we kind of just became cool. He interviewed me when he got his platform on No Jumper. And then he started a podcast with some ladies. Unfortunately, it didn't last, the lit cast. But yeah, they were some cool people. And I'm grateful for that experience.
Who are some artists that you currently have in your rotation right now?
Right now? Okay, see, that's kind of hard for me because I'm very, very old school. Sometimes I listen to some of the music and it just be like, you're so dumb. Like, it's not even like you're playing dumb. Your vocabulary is, your IQ, I can tell, is, you know. But Beyonce's Renaissance album, Break My Soul, that is a song I play a lot. As far as today's artists that are popping right now, I just really go off of playlists. I like Lil Baby, not so much because I'm a fan. It's the fact that he writes.
Yeah.
That's what I appreciate about him. His vocabulary. He's not just mumble, mumble, mumble. He's actually saying something. And he does, the way he puts his sentences together and the words that he uses, I can tell that, okay, this boy, he reading that Webster. You know, he's studying the business side of music. It's not just chains and whips and all that. So I appreciate his writing. Yeah, like I said, I just go off playlists. I listen to female playlists, female rappers and stuff like that off Spotify and Apple Music. And I listen to like Rap Life and stuff like that, the big playlists off Spotify and Apple Music. But I don't know. I can't say that it's an artist or a particular artist that, okay, I'm effing with. I like Glorilla, not so much what she says. I just like the moves that she makes.
Right. Yeah.
You know, that's what I look for.
So, do you know who Ice Spice is?
Mm-hmm. Much.
Yeah. So, I just want your opinion on it. What do you, if you would have gotten the opportunity that she has had off of Verse, what would you have done with that momentum?
First, if she didn't trademark her name and if she didn't own her music copyrights in the business side, that would have been the first thing I would have did. As soon as my name blew up, I would have, yeah, because I know she got some money. Because the views went up, I know you got paid.
Yeah.
You got 1 million views, that's a $4,000 check. Take 600 of that, go get your name trademarked. I'm just saying. So that would have been the first thing I would have did. After that, I would have, because she's independent right now, she don't need a label because she's viral.
Yeah.
So right now, I would be putting together a business plan. Okay, I bought my name. Okay, my lyrics are trademark. I own my publishing, or I start my publishing company because I know when the label comes, they're going to want to sign me and they're going to want my publishing. So let me make sure I take care of that. After that, I would be performing like crazy. I'll be performing like crazy. I saw where her people turned down the performance. I think they offered her like 3,000 or something, and they was like, "Well, we need 15."
Yeah.
Fuck all that. I hope I can curse. Sorry.
Yeah, no, you're
but
good.
forget all that. If it's $3,000, I'm going to get that $3,000 because you know why? The next club that I go to, I'm gonna tell them, oh yeah, I gave them the $3,000 price because they booked me prior to the song blowing up the way it did. Now I did that for them. I showed them love. I guarantee next time I come back, they're gonna pay me what I'm worth. But now to everybody else, my song blew up. Everywhere that I'm going, I'm performing. If it's 5,000, do that 5,000. What you mean? Because that viral shit may not last forever. Get your money. Get your bag. Go to all these festivals. Anybody wants you to open up for them? Open up for them. Be selective about the nightclubs that you perform at, but go to them nightclubs. I don't really know what to say about school because the music that these artists are making, I mean, that's what the kids like. Me necessarily, I don't think I'll be performing at no high school. We talk about much, but no, for real. Like how Glorilla, she went to her old high school, gave back 25,000. Go back to your old high school. If you can't perform, go talk. Show people I'm involved in the community, but build your brand. Because when Universal, Cash Money, or whoever, when they come, let's be real. They not finna. They may offer you a $3 million deal, but the paperwork, what is that interest?
Yeah.
You feel me? What do they own of you? Make sure you get all your business together. That's what I would have did. I would have took this opportunity to build my name, build my brand, make sure my paperwork is right. So when a label does come to me, when anybody comes to me trying to collab and they managers and labels, they want to talk, you feel me? Make sure the numbers are right. I own everything. That would have been my first thing.
I like that. I had a discussion on Twitter with somebody about it, and my thoughts were, I agree. I should have said some of the stuff you said about the business aspect of it, but the moment I hit virality like that, I would have been reaching out to mainstream artists that fucked with me that were going to give me a verse for either the low cost or for free. I would have put out an album in that time. I would have spent 3 days in the studio making an album to carry that momentum, because right now that song isn't going to live forever. And her career, if she's not putting out new content, is just going to slowly start to go down.
Yep. So, no, you're absolutely right. You take advantage of all that. I mean, I did see that Drake flew her out or something to Toronto or
yeah, he flew her. They met up in LA, and then he flew her out to Toronto for OVO Fest.
So, and then it was like a whole bunch of like negative things that were being said. I'm not sure if it was true, and they were like, "Oh, he unfollowed her," and all this other stuff. Regardless, I will be on live. I'm on everything. Who recorded my set on OVO? Who recorded me being there? I'm about to milk this whole situation. I don't care if Drake don't follow me. He invited me. I was right there. I was backstage. I'm posting everything. There's going to be a whole blog, TikTok, trailer. Get your money. Get your money. You feel me? Get your fan. Get your bag. All these people talk about a bag. Use that stuff, like you said, with the celebrities. Use that. Get everybody, pull everybody in that's bragging at you right now, and use that. That's your leverage. You feel me?
I feel you. So, getting features from mainstream artists can be costly, but if you didn't have to foot the bill for a feature, who's one mainstream artist that you would love to get a feature from?
Man, You probably would be surprised, but mine would be Pharrell.
No, actually, I think that'd be smart. Pharrell is in my top 5 producers in hip hop.
Mm-hmm.
He knows how to do just the beat perfectly, and he's
Yep.
great at rapping as well. So I mean, that makes sense, honestly.
Yeah, it'd be Pharrell. I have every one of his albums. Even back when he was with Nerd, um, NERD, I guess, if you want.
Yeah.
But it would definitely be Pharrell. And it could be a hip hop song. It could be a pop song because I love when he does his pop. I like when he did the little punk rock, the rock mix with it was like he was doing rock music, but it was always melodic.
Yeah.
Yeah, it'd be Pharrell. I want him to sing on it. I want him to produce it. I want him to spit on it. He can even write a couple of my bars. You feel me? Give me some of your juice. But my artist would be Pharrell. That's the number one that I would want to work with in the industry.
So speaking of bars, have you ever ghost ripped for any other artists before?
Actually, yes. They haven't recorded them. There was a situation that would have been very, very great, but unfortunately he passed away. I tell this story. Nipsey Hussle, rest in peace. There was a producer who was working on music. Him and Meek Mill had an album that they were working on, Nipsey and Meek. And they were basically reaching out to people, producers. They wanted people to basically produce and also come up with a hook or like 8 bars or whatever. So the Friday before he passed away, I was in the studio with an engineer from Atlantic Records. And I was in the studio, I did 3 songs, wrote the hooks, recorded the hooks, wrote 8 bars. And there was one particular song that was sent that I was told that Nipsey liked. I still have the music. I still have the songs. And when I was told that, it was like, okay, now you got to get back in the studio. We need you to write some more music. Unfortunately, he passed away that Sunday and everything just went away. That would have been my moment. That would have been probably the first artist that I had a placement for. The hook was crazy, and I was told that's what he liked. He liked the hook, like the hook was crazy. So, and then from that, I've been asked to write for female artists. I've been asked to write for male artists. I'll write hooks or something like that, and they'll send them in. Like I said, unfortunately, nothing has been picked yet as far as the artists getting on the records. But TV has proven to be, something that has really helped my career. So I'm praying for these artists, to get on the song, but at least TV came out of it. So.
What would you say has probably been the hardest thing for you as an artist?
Being a girl. I'm gonna say being a intelligent girl, being an educated girl. I was told, like when I used to go to the music seminars when I was younger, they would always say, you probably, if you get signed, you'll be a phenomenal artist, but people are gonna shy away from signing you and working with you. And I used to ask why. And they would say, because you're smart. You actually take the time to learn the business side of things. So if somebody comes to you and offers you a deal, it's not like how some people, I'm in the hood, I'm working all these jobs, I'm struggling. Somebody come and offer me $5 million, I'm signing my soul away. I'm signing everything away. I would be the one that's gonna be like, okay, well, the $5 million sound great, but at the end of all this, how much of me do you own?
Yeah.
So, yeah, me being smart, me being educated, that has kind of made people shy away. And at first, I didn't really talk that much. So when I did start opening my mouth and I did start speaking up and talking, it was just like, oh, okay, she knows something. And no lie, I noticed certain people pulling away. It was all good, when you were telling me, oh, you're going to get, 15% of what I wrote. Hell no. You feel me? Or, when it came to the copyrights, I do all my own things. I do everything. My aunt is probably the only person that I will allow to handle paperwork for me. And I noticed people would tell me, oh, just focus on the music, don't worry about that. You'll have a team of people, we're gonna do XYZ. Yeah, a team of people that won't tell me 100% the truth.
Yeah.
So that has been a hindrance for me. Just the fact that I'm smart and I refuse to play dumb.
I would definitely say like hip hop, just not even just hip hop, but the music industry in itself is a grimy business. There's very few labels that actually give a fuck about their artists. Like Atlantic right now is under fire because they've had 7 artists of theirs now die randomly just in the last 10 years, with PNB Rock being one of the latest. Like, it's not a good look because most of those artists have life insurance policies on them through their record label. So who's benefiting from their death? The record label.
But it's crazy that people don't like. I'm not sure if labels did that back in the day as far as life insurance policies. And I'm sure that they did, and that'll probably come out in the future. But when you look at, like, man, I hate saying this, Motown, Berry Gordy, was brilliant. But a lot of those artists died broke. They died of overdoses because they were broke. All those houses, cars were leased to the label. So it does make one person wonder, okay, what's really going on? You guys have these artists and they make all this money and they're not profiting. And then when they pass away, you guys make, I think Michael Jackson is at what, $1 billion, 1.36 billion since he's passed away. At one time when he was alive, he was making $100 million a year. Since he died, it's about $100 or $200 million a year. It does kind of make you wonder, like, okay, the labels are the ones that benefit.
Yep.
It's not so much these people's families, even though people say, oh yeah, such and such died and they own their masters. It sounds good. It sounds good until the paperwork come out or until the family is arguing because now the label is putting out documentaries and albums and all of this stuff and you guys get a percentage. But you guys are not benefiting like they are. So with Atlantic and Empire, it just reminds me, like I said, of like Motown days. You belong to them. And when you die, you still belong to them.
Yeah, it's a crazy thing, the way that all works out. Because like with Juice WRLD, for instance, since his passing, there's been 2 albums now that have dropped since he's passed, and he still shows up on people as features. I'm just curious what percentage his kids and family get from those features now that he's not here to take a stand saying, like, no, that's my verse. Like, I own that. That's
then you don't get a say-so. The family doesn't get a say-so.
Yeah.
Like, when I remember when they redid Tupac's, they did a remix to Thug Mansion, and they put Nas on it. And there was a lot of controversy because people felt, well, he didn't like Nas. They was beefing. His mom owned his masters. She had the right to say yes or no. But what if she didn't? And somebody puts together something like that, and it's like, for the fans, it's like, that ain't a good fit. They didn't jail or they wasn't, but it's nothing that you could say. Juice WRLD, XXX, was him too. Him and Kanye. Kanye's on one of his unreleased songs, unfinished songs, with the True Love.
Yeah.
That song. And it's like, yeah, he's benefiting and his family is benefiting, but it's like, do these people's family get a say-so? Do they get to say, okay, well, put them on there with this artist. Okay, I like that track. Or, okay, this is the percentage. Or does the label say, well, you don't already know. We're the label. We're the music business. So we're going to give you a percentage because that's your relative. But other than that, you have no say-so. That sucks.
What would you say guys like Nipsey Hussle and Young Dolph, what do you feel like they meant to the underground hip hop community?
They meant, I would say that they were a blueprint. They remind me of like the Sam Cooks back in the day who were preaching to artists, you need to own your masters, start your labels, own publishing companies. They remind me of that. And I feel like the difference between when Sam Cooke was saying it and now, a lot of artists listen to what they were saying. Of course, there's still those artists that are going to sign their souls away, but there are artists like Lil Baby. You know, there are artists like that who maybe patterned themselves after a Young Dolph, you know, or after a Nipsey Hussle and said, okay, I'm going to take the independent route. You know, with them two, it was independent. I know that Nipsey, he ended up doing like a distribution with Atlantic before he passed away. So that was, you know, crazy. But I feel like the artists of today, they're listening. They're looking at the breakdowns. Some of them are looking at the fact, okay, I can own my music. I get 100% copyright. You know, I get 100%, 80%, or 75% publishing. You know, I'm keeping the money from my tours, my merch. I'm keeping the money from my merch. Just looking at how you can build your empire, they really showed everybody, you know, you can do it. You don't necessarily need a label to do it, or at least build it. And when the label comes and offers distribution, okay, take it for distribution. But as far as all the business that's concerned with my business, I got that. I got a whole system and infrastructure. And I feel like those two artists, we may not see it now, we may not see it in the next 5 years, but in the future in hip hop, they're going to be regarded as, what's the word? They're going to be regarded as trailblazers. You feel me? They're going to be regarded as trailblazers. Most definitely.
I definitely see that. They both, I fully agree actually with what you're saying. They are the blueprint of the way to make the moves and be profitable, just making music without needing to sign your life away for something.
Mm-hmm.
What would you say has probably been the most rewarding part for you in music?
The most rewarding part, I would say when my music hit TV. That was the most rewarding. Sometimes people will try to tell you that your music isn't good. If you're not saying the things that other people are saying or doing the things that other people are doing, you get overlooked. And I won't lie, the year that my music hit TV, I remember I went to South by Southwest. I got that experience. But the year that my music hit TV, I was becoming discouraged because DJs in my city, where I'm from, you know, they weren't playing my music like that. I started to feel like, well, maybe I'm not good enough. You know, maybe, you know, I need to go another route or whatever. But doubt started to set in. Then when my music hit TV, it was like, whoa, you feel me? Then after that, they kept asking. It was different music libraries, different networks. And I'm like, okay, so these DJs where I'm from saying that, you know, my music ain't good, but I got people like HBO asking me, okay, well, Insecure has a new season. We need this many, you know, songs. And it's like, damn, you know? So I would say that was the most rewarding. From me being able to get my music on TV, and then I started using that in my bio, marketing myself as a ghostwriter, as a writer for television and stuff like that. DJs, I would say from other parts of America started catching on. You know, if I'm sharing Insecure, every time I'm sharing it was Insecure season 3. Every time I'm sharing an episode, it's my music on the beginning of the recaps. Every episode, you know, and people were seeing that, and it's like, send me your music. Oh shit, now you want my music, you know? So that helped me start getting my music into people, into DJs' hands, Virginia, New York, New Jersey, Baltimore, Florida, Texas, Atlanta, Ohio. Man, that really saved my career. That really saved myself as an artist because it it made me confident in myself again, and it reminded me that your penmanship, your talent, your ability, it is all that. You know, it is sought after. It is wanted. And now it's like I don't feel like I'm on no pedestal or nothing, but now it's kind of like, yeah, y'all can't play me, you can't play me like that no more. I got people asking me, for this type of music. So if you ain't gonna play it, that's cool. I'm gonna just send it to them and let them play it. So to anybody that's watching this, if you become discouraged in whatever it is that, whatever your talent is or whatever area that you're trying to go, keep praying, stay focused and stay positive and stay working. Your work is not going to go unnoticed. Trust and believe that. Somebody's going to hear it. Somebody's going to see it. Somebody's going to want it. Somebody's going to need it. Stay consistent. Stay focused. Stay believing in yourself. Straight up.
Now, you brought up your music was featured on Insecure on HBO. Not just one song, but 2. 3.
They bought all 3. For season 3, they bought all 3. They played 2 for season 3. The other one that they bought, they played for season 4. And then for season 5, I was asked to make new music. And it was it 2 songs? They bought 2 songs. So those played out on season 5.
Damn.
Yeah, 3, 4, and 5, man. 3P.
Now, if an artist is wanting to get a feature from you, what is your typical feature price?
To be real, that's not even something that I worked out like that. I got an artist right now in Florida. He just paid me $300 for 16. That was his budget. He sent me $300. Got the paperwork done. I'm gonna send the verse back. I'm gonna get my royalties. If the song goes anywhere, so I'm not tripping. If it's somebody that got a bag, oh, you gonna pay. You gonna pay. You're not gonna be all on Instagram and stuff, and you got diamond-studded chains, and you got a whole grill full of BBs, and you hold stacks of money to your ear, and you hitting me up for a collab. It's gonna be like, okay, let me send you my credits, and then we can go from there. Because I see that you got. I'm not gonna say you got money. I'm gonna say you got your business together from what it looks like. So this is my business, and you can pay me what I'm worth. You feel me? And I know you got it. So that's how I do that. If you ain't balling and stuff like that, people hit me up all the time. I charge $200, $300. You feel me? I kind of stay in that range when it comes to people that's independent, that's kind of on the come up. I ain't feel me trying to get rich off of them. But if it's somebody, like I said, you flossing and flow showing and stuff, flow boating all over social media, you acting like you got it, I'm gonna need that 500. I'm gonna need that rack. You feel me?
I feel it.
For sure.
I'll send you a couple of female artists that I'm like good friends with that I think you'd actually like their music because they are both very lyrical artists.
Okay.
But earlier when we were talking about, you were doing shows and that's a way to get a lot of money as an artist. Mm-hmm. I learned that not too long ago when J. Cole released his KOD album and he had the Lil Pump diss track. He mentions, make sure you keep doing those shows because that's the only way we eat as artists. And because he knows what the label industry is like and how the shows, when you're in those labels, that's about the only time you're getting a paycheck because the money they give you up front is for the whole deal, and then you got to pay your manager. You got taxes that come out of that lump sum.
Yep.
So if they gave you $1 million, when you leave that, after you sign that away, you're really only going to walk away with about $250. So you got to put in a lot of work.
You got to put in a lot of work. And it's always been like that. That's why when I meet artists that don't know the history of music and don't know the business, it really hurts me. Like, it hurts my heart because it's like, damn, from the time music started, you don't know that? I don't care if it's Elvis, you don't know that? You don't know that artists make money off of their shows. Everybody knows how the labels are. Back in the day, what is it? You make 25 cents on a record, you're getting what? A penny? 2 pennies, 3 pennies? When you go on tour and you're doing the Chitlin circuits or you're doing the big concerts, you're making your money because promoters are paying you. And it's just like, yeah, you gotta work. When you look at some of these artists and they in their 70s and 80s still performing, they don't necessarily want to keep performing, but they have to because they don't own the music. They don't own the copyright. But they out there singing their life away, putting on spectacular shows, and that's how they making their money. That's how they continue to keep their brand going as far as money in their pocket. So to any artist that's out there, you better get familiar with the music business and learn how to work, or you gonna get jerked every which way.
And I'll say this, like, if you're an artist and you've been signed to a label and they're telling you they own the music, all they own is the beat. They never own your lyrics. Taylor Swift did it the right way when she wanted out of her deal, and they said that she wasn't going to get her masters. She took the lyrics, put it over a different beat. Like, there's ways around it to get out of those sticky situations if artists would study.
But you better own your lyrics.
Yeah, don't sign the
You better be the one copywriting your lyrics, because if you do not, because what he's saying is absolutely true, because Ashanti is doing that now. She's going back and re-recording her first album on Murder Inc. New production, but she owns the lyrics. So to y'all artists out there, what he's saying is absolutely right. You make sure that after you write that song, you own that. You don't send nothing into the label telling them, oh no, or okay, well, you guys can go ahead and I'm just trusting you, because now you can't just go back in the studio, you feel me, and redo the song with a different beat. Now you gotta rewrite everything. You're not gonna have that same hit. Taylor Swift, the thing with Taylor Swift is she is a hit maker.
Yeah.
From the time she got into the industry until now, she's I think she's like 40 or something. She's like close to 40. She's in her 30s. So from what, 17?
Yeah, she was
until now?
She's 32. She's 15.
32. So all of this time, every hit that this girl has made, she's written. She's wrote it. So she can go back to the studio. I can re-record my stuff all day long. But you artists out there, please copyright your music. $85, 10 songs. $85, 10 songs. It ain't gonna hurt you, because when they make $5 million off of it, and you sitting there like, oh, okay, well, I got 700,000. It ain't adding up, buddy. So, nah, I like this conversation. I like you. I really do.
I appreciate that. You're giving a lot of gems that I think a lot of young artists need to hear, because they just see what mainstream guys post on their social media with the jewelry and stuff. Like you brought up Lil Baby. Lil Baby had other sorts of income of music. He is a business mindset. Lil Durk also has different hands in different businesses that make him money aside from music. You have to have more than one income. Like Soulja Boy. Remember when the pandemic happened and he came out with what was it? Hand sanitizer, and he came out with some type of soap. He had a store in Mississippi that nobody knew about. Puts it on the shelves in the store and they sell out. Then everybody knows, oh, Soulja Boy got hand sanitizer, Soulja Boy got lotion. And I remember he did an interview and the guy was asking him, like, do you think you got your hand in too many things? And he went crazy. I don't know if you've seen it. And he was like, I've been broke. I've been poor. There's no such thing as having your hands. And he got his hand in video games, anime. And as you see with anime,
It's always kind of been popular, but in recent years,
It's just skyrocketed. You've got like
you gotta have
industry
your hands in
artists like
everything.
talking about it and stuff. Like Meg The Stallion out of nowhere talks about how she has this huge love for anime. Like
You
it's
feel
really
me?
taken off.
You feel me? So yeah, what he's saying is absolutely right. You better have different hustles. You got to.
Well, that segues perfectly because back in January, you started tweeting that you would be at Soulja Boy's mansion on February 20th. What was that like?
Shout out to Jay West. It was his show, it was his event, and I mean, it was real ratchet. It was real fun. If that's the stuff that you like, if you like to party and stuff like that, I was in and out, but yeah, it was a beautiful experience for me, just being able to go to a house on a hill, that type of thing. But yeah, it was a party. It was definitely a party.
So I do have a game I play here called This or That.
Okay.
I present two artists to you, and you tell me which one you're going to put on your listen to first.
Okay.
Tory Lanez or Chris Brown?
Is this or that?
Mm-hmm.
I gotta pick.
Yep.
I like Chris, but I liked him because of his mixtapes, because he used to rap. I'm gonna have to say Tory Lanez.
Bruno Mars or The Weeknd?
Bruno.
Erykah Badu or Lauryn Hill?
Lauryn Hill.
Missy Elliott or Remy Ma?
Missy.
Music Soul Child or Drew Hill?
Who?
Drew Hill.
Ooh. Now you trying to hurt me. I'm gonna say music. I'm gonna say music.
Jay-Z or Nas?
Man, both are great. Man, Nas fans don't go off on me, but I'm gonna have to go with Jay. I'm gonna have to go with Jay.
DMX or Jadakiss?
I'm gonna have to go with D. I'm gonna have to go with DMX.
Keith Sweat or Luther Vandross?
Keith Sweat. What you mean?
Outkast or Wu-Tang?
Damn. I'm gonna have to say Wu-Tang. I'm gonna have to say Wu-Tang. I'm gonna go with the Wu.
Eminem or The Game?
I'm gonna have to go with Eminem because he's a battle rapper. He is a freestyle. He is
He is.
off the top. I'm sorry. He's crazy.
50 Cent or Ja Rule?
Man, don't hate me, 50. But I'm gonna have to go with Ja Rule. That boy was a hit maker.
Was. E40 or Twista?
I'm gonna have to go with Twister. Yeah, I'm gonna have to go with Twister. Chicago.
J. Cole or Kendrick Lamar?
West Coast all day, but believe it or not, I rock more with J. Cole. Yeah.
Cardi B or Nicki Minaj?
Nicki is great. Nicki is the queen of her era, but I like Cardi's rapping more. Yeah, I like her rapping.
Kevin Gates or Joyner Lucas?
I'm gonna have to go with Joyner because lately Kevin been on some sex. So I'm gonna have to go with Joyner. My boy got bars. Then he got the Will Smith collab. Come on.
That shit was fire. I was so
Fire.
excited about that. Lupe Fiasco or Wale?
Lupe.
Nelly or Akon?
Country grammar all day. Earth, man, Nelly, Air Force Ones.
Mobb Deep or UGK?
UGK. Pepsi, rest in peace. UGK.
Pusha T or Kanye?
I'm gonna have to go with Kanye. Yeah.
Royce the 5'9" or Benny the Butcher?
Oh, now you going into real rappers, real MCs. I'm gonna say Royce only because I listen to him a little more. So I'm gonna say Royce.
Hey, with some of these, there's really not a bad answer because they're all talented at their craft. I'm a huge Royce fan. I have been for years.
Okay.
Gucci Mane or Jeezy?
I'm gonna have to go with Gucci.
T.I. or Ludacris?
T.I. Ludacris was a hit maker, but T.I.'s lyrical ability is up there.
We'll do Kalani or Summer Walker?
Ooh. I just started really listening to Kehlani, but I have heard her music over the years. I'm gonna have to say Kehlani. Yeah.
Now, you've gotten to go on tour, correct?
Somewhat.
What was that experience like? Because I know you traveled to other states to do shows.
Yeah.
So what was that experience like going to a state where nobody knew you and you got to perform live in front of new fans?
I actually like it like that. Even when I perform at home, I like it like that because I always walk away with fans. When I get off stage, it's always, oh my God, you're so hard. Or going to different states. And like when I went to Baltimore this year, it was just me and my sister. So it was kind of like, oh, I respect you. You flew all the way, came over here, you did your shit, and people just, the support. They don't know you. And sometimes you think they're not going to like you or because they don't know you, but they want something new. They want something fresh. So the experience performing out of state, I love it. I love being somewhere different, hearing other people's accents, and being able to show them a new talent that they never knew existed. I like that wow factor.
Now, you've got a couple different music videos you've done. What is your usual budget when you're making your music videos?
When I did Big Bands, Band Up, and the Do Me Right, both of those songs were on Pearl Heart. That budget probably was like, with that was through Giga, ENT. The album and that single came out of working with that. So the budgets for that was kind of big. I'll say like probably around 5,000, something like that. On average, if I'm spending out maybe about 1,500, maybe 2,000, because the videographer off top is like 600 to 1,000. So you factor that in, then it's location, hair, makeup, props and stuff like that. So for me, being independent, I do try to keep it around the 1,000, 1,500 mark. But as far as like when it's bigger, if I'm working with someone, then yeah, we kind of go big, kind of go.
You also got to be a part of the Freshman 2022 LA Artists Cypher. What was that experience like in getting reached out about being on that?
It was cool. You know, you had double XL and stuff like that. So it was cool to be recognized in Los Angeles and be put on something like that. Because at first it's kind of like, when people saw that, it was like, you ain't no freshman. You know, we've been hearing about you, all the stuff that you got going. But I thought about it, and it's like, okay, if I get signed or if a song blows up, they're going to put me on double XL freshman. I'm going to still be a freshman, you know, to somebody. So I just thought that that was dope. Yeah.
With that being said, that is my biggest beef with double XL anymore, is everyone that is put on those lists for the last like 5 to 8 years are guys that have their buzz. They used to put on people that didn't have a buzz, and now it's you're just getting the ones that already have a buzz. So you're not really putting them on. It lost its meaning, to me anyway.
No, that's real. And it's kind of like it's lazy because you're not sending nobody out there to find artists anymore. Now if somebody just go to their phone, oh, this person has, you know, this many views on TikTok. Let's throw them on the cover because their song is viral. So I feel you. They need to do their homework. They got lazy.
Back in March, you had tweeted no social media. What was the purpose of taking a break from social media for you?
Just I'm not a person to claim mental health, but I will say that seeing people, the facade, the facade that people show on social media, and it'll make you question yourself. Sometimes it'll make you think less of yourself. You see people posting money. You see people posting all these things, and it's like, you know, well, maybe I'm less than, you know, because I don't have that chain. Maybe, you know, like with my music, that's the main thing for me. So, you know, well, here's another female artist that got signed, you know, and then not just that, but putting so much time into social media. It's one thing to be an influencer and stuff like that, but when you're not handling your business, when you're not doing the things that you need to do, the business that you need to take care of, and you're on social media because it's always trending topics, or somebody sent you something, somebody fighting, oh, it's reality TV. So I had to take a break. And it felt good. It felt normal, like when I was growing up. Being able to have your own life. Nobody knows, you know, what you're doing. Nobody can see your movement. Nobody has anything to say, you know, and you live in reality. Once I got back on social media, it was back to the BS. But when I got back on social media, I've already like prepared my mind, you know, to see things and not feel. I would say my mind, my eyes, and my heart. Because, yeah, to see things and not feel it, you know, not feel any type of way about it. And be happy with myself and be happy with my life. So that was my reason for walking away from social media for a while. I needed to get my life into perspective. I needed to get my mental right, my feelings and emotions. And, yeah, it don't really faze me now.
I'm glad that you have like that self-awareness that you needed to take a break, because it's something a lot of artists struggle with. They think if they take a break, they're not going to be able to pick it back up. But at the same time, if your mental health, even if you don't have to have a mental disorder to have depression, that's something anybody can face and suffer with. And when you're dealing with something like that, yeah, you might be able to write some really good, sad, emotional music that people will be able to relate to, but your other stuff, it'll start to reflect your mental state. So
Yep.
it's your mental health should always be one of your top priorities, and making sure that you're mentally okay. Otherwise, it'll affect everything you've built up to a certain point.
No, that's true. When Nicki Minaj said that at the VMAs, you know, you basically she talked about Whitney Houston and Michael Jackson and the fact that you didn't care about their mental health. And when I look today and all these people with mental health, don't talk about that person, that celebrity, their mental health. But then when you think about all the artists that overdosed, all the artists that died, broke, sad, and stuff like that, you do have to say, we messed up. We fucked up. Like you said, depression. People think if you are bipolar, if you're not bipolar, you don't have mental health. That's not true.
Yeah.
And people need to be aware that something is not right. I think a lot of people ignore it and they think they can work through it. They think they can work through it and, oh, okay, well, it's not going to phase me. I'm going to just let it roll off and all of this other stuff. But once you realize that maybe the way that you're feeling, the way that you're thinking is not normal for you, once you start feeling sad or doubt or whatever it is that you feel that lets you know that, okay, something's not right, right then and there, you need to do something. You know, you don't sit and be like, oh, okay, I'm gonna ignore it. No, right then and there, because it's just growing. It's going to continue to grow and it's going to continue to eat at you. And you may do something to hurt yourself. Or you may do things to not feel that way. Only when that high comes down, you feel worse. So people do need to pay attention to their mental health, recognize it, but at the same time, you can't stay there. And that's the only thing about mental health that I can say that I don't like about today. Everybody is like, oh, it's okay. No, it's not okay. If somebody's going through something and they're expressing that they're going through something, help them get past that. Because I'm not going to sit here and for the next 5 years, you're going to keep telling me, well, because my dad left me as a child, you know, that's why I can't be stable. Dude, you're 40. You're 40. And whoever was around you that allowed that to grow and sat there and encouraged that, I'd walk away from them. Allow people to come to you like with a therapist. Allow people to come to you, express how they feel. But at the end of that therapy session, the therapist is asking, okay, so what are we going to do to change it? What are we going to do to improve it? Me, I realized emotionally, mentally, social media, I got to walk away. I walked away. There was no sitting up crying to my mom and wallowing. It's like, oh, this or this, what's wrong with me? No, walk away from it. Get yourself together. Once you got yourself together and you strengthen your mind and your emotions the way that you feel, then you can get back out there and you can face whatever. You already been through it and you know how to overcome it. If something new comes, then it's like, okay, now I got to tackle that. But with the mental health, realize what it is. Express the problem, but be open to a solution and be willing to work for a solution, you know?
Yeah. It's really well said. A lot of artists now, to like cement their legacy, they do record. They like I think I one time heard Lil Uzi's manager talk about how he had like 3,000 songs in a vault. That way, his legacy will continue to live on because there's always going to be music that can be released of his. Mm-hmm. How much music do you typically try and keep stored in a vault to kind of help cement your legacy?
Recorded music. In my mom's storage, she has my gate. I don't know if you remember Gateway computers. She has my Gateway computer. The Gateway is full of lyrics and recordings. Dell computer. That one was to the point where I couldn't record or produce. I used to produce as well. So I couldn't record or produce anything. That one is to the max. I know that has like hundreds of songs on there. And then as far as things that I've recorded over the years that I have, things that I've written for the people that I've recorded, I got a lot of music. I have a lot of music. I think that my problem was the confidence, like I said, and fear of how people would react to the music. Maybe they would accept it, maybe they wouldn't. But no, I have a lot of music, and God don't, let it happen. But if I was to pass away right now, I'm not no Tupac, I'm not no Lil Uzi. But if I was to pass away right now and my mom wanted to put music out, I could have music for a few years. I don't know how long, how many years, but I would have music for a few years. Yeah.
An ongoing occurrence that I notice when I interview female artists is it's a very common theme that it's harder for female artists to break out in hip hop. And I was just curious what your thoughts are on that and like why you think it's harder for female artists to break out in hip hop compared to a male artist.
I think that it's men and women. Because, like, when you go back, like, Roxanne, Shantae, MC Light, and all of those, Queen Latifah.
Damn, old school names.
Yeah, when you go back to the mothers, of hip-hop, it was hard for them because they were girls, but they were spitting. And that's what people around them told them. You got to spit. You got to spit harder than the dudes, to be respected. And I feel like back then it was always they wanted to be heard. They wanted to be seen. They wanted to be heard and seen and accepted in a male-dominated genre. But I feel like the women put in the work. I'm not gonna say that they didn't. Lady of Rage, Moni Love, you feel me? Like the women did put in the work, but I'm gonna say that at one point in time, I don't think they really knew what to do with women in hip. Because you got a woman that's hard, that's spitting, but she a girl, she a woman. And you looking at her like, oh, she hard, but you looking at her like, oh, that's a girl. So I think that it was hard for them to place women in hip hop. Also because a lot of men are intimidated by strong women. So if you got a woman like Queen Latifah in your face who you calling a bitch, yeah, you gonna like it and you gonna bump it, but then at the same time, it's like, who this bitch? You feel me? You gonna get upset. Your manhood is gonna start feeling in question because I got this, and it shouldn't, but because I got this woman right here that's in my face, raw. You feel me? Ooh, I don't know. She may be harder than me, so let me close that door. Let's make it to where the only way they get in is if they sign to a male artist or if they're connected to a male artist. Then I'm going to say, after the Lil' Kim era, that ushered in the new wave. Can't nobody say that. Lil' Kim is the mother of all this, the girls with the no clothes, the sex rap, and Lil' Kim hard. Don't get me wrong. She'll out-rap these girls and these dudes. But she is the mother of all of that. So I feel like now, if you want to break in, you need a BBL, you need fake boobs, your hair got to be to your ankles, you got to have a lace front, you may have to get your nose done, may have to lighten your skin up a little bit, you feel me? You got to sleep with a rapper, marry a rapper, date a rapper, or somebody in the music industry. Let's be real. When you look at these female artists, who are they not sleeping with?
Yeah.
Who are they not attached to sexually? That's a mogul or a producer. You feel me? So it's hard. It was hard back then because females were trying to find their place and people really didn't know what to do with them. And they still don't know what to do with them now. They're placing them in the sex category, but they're not lasting.
Yeah.
If you really look at it, they're not. You had Nicki, her whole era. You had Nicki.
And she kind of
Grammys.
switched her whole era. She started doing like the pop rap to.
You feel me? So that's a whole nother, you feel me? Now it's like, okay, well, female rappers, are they going to be rappers or are they going to be singers? And I'm not even going to say Nicki, because when you look at Lauryn Hill, she wasn't doing pop, but Lauryn Hill was a rapper and a singer. Missy Elliott was a rapper and a singer. And if you look at it, they started patterning female rappers like that. She has to sing. She has to rap. Nicki brought in the auto-tune and the that type of pop music. So with the female rappers now, it's just like, they don't know what they're doing. Throw them in a thong, put some veneers in their mouth, throw a chain on them, let them rap about pop, shoot them, suck them up, and we got a viral artist. But they're not lasting. So I think that the music industry, they're still trying to figure out, what do we do with female rappers?
Yeah, no, I definitely agree. And like with Lil' Kim, for instance, I've never actually heard her speak on it in an interview, but I know when they did the biopic movie of Biggie, the Notorious movie, they portrayed it as when she rapped to Biggie for the first time, it was on street shit. And he told her, guys ain't going to want to listen to you rapping about street shit. They're going to want to hear you talk about your pussy and all this stuff. It kind of took over from there. I don't know if that's like fully true or not, because I've never listened to her speak on anything like that in an interview, but it is interesting because like it did start with MC Lyte and Queen Latifah, and I have a huge appreciation for Queen Latifah, not even so much in the hip-hop aspect, but she's one of those women that just found multiple different lanes that she could go in. She went into, started in hip-hop, then she started doing the movies. She was in, Kid Play, which is a great movie. To this day, that movie still stands out to me as a great hip-hop movie because it was just a lit experience watching that movie as a kid. And then she did the movie with Steve Martin, Bring Down the House. Shit was hilarious to me as a kid.
Hilarious.
And she recently did a verse for somebody, and she still can kill it lyrically as a rapper.
Lyrically, I'll put her, MC Lyte, I will put them against any female rapper today.
Oh, yeah.
They're not going to mention pussy. They're not going to mention ass. They're not going to mention none of that. It's going to be straight bars and straight facts.
Like someone in the comments said, she also can sing as well. And she's just
Grammy nominated for her singing.
Yeah, she's just a multi-talented individual. And like, even with somebody that does rap about pussy a little bit, somebody I have an appreciation for lyrically in hip-hop right now is Young M.A. She's very lyrical in her raps, and she's good at what she does. It's undervalued, and I think the reason why men have a hard time with female artists is, to what you were saying, it's the male ego. They don't want to hear a female talk about street stuff. But at the end of the day, there are females that do that street life. It's not just men that do that. It's just male ego.
My solution to this, and the question that I've always asked, with so much female talent in the industry, why haven't females united, started their own labels? You have female producers. Missy Elliott she's produced for I don't know how many female artists, from Janet Jackson, you feel me, to a Nicki Minaj. So it's like, how come the females, old school, 80s, 90s, early 2000s, with everything that they had, all the resources and the knowledge, why don't they come together? Why don't you make a place for female rappers in hip-hop to where they don't have to keep getting signed by these men? They don't have to keep doing what these men want them to do or think they should do that's going to sell. As a woman, you know how you want women to be represented. You know that there's another generation of women and young girls who are watching these women. So I would like to see Queen Latifah, Missy, all of them come together, gravitate around some of these female rappers and let them know, put them through artist development, something. Because as talented as they are, you can record 3,000 songs all you want to. If your image and impression is not going to be long lasting, when they put them songs out, it's not going to matter.
Yeah.
Who's going to care? Seriously. Ice Spice, Munch. She can record as many songs as she wants to, but if nobody's gravitating to her personality, if nobody's gravitating to her brand, if nobody is really looking like I look up to her, she's inspiring. You can put out a Munch remix 5 years from now, or somebody else do it. They're not gonna care that she did it. They gonna like the new person that was on it. They can care less because she fizzled out. And it's too many female rappers that have longevity in the industry that know this. And it's like, stop sitting back being quiet about these new ones. Get behind some of them. Talk to them. You see, Mariah Carey got Lotto under her wing. And people mad because, a light skin and a light skin. Check it out. She see that it's another girl that looked like her in the industry, and she know what she went through when she got in the industry being a light writer. So she taking her under her wing, and I'm sure she's talking to her and letting her know, business-wise, let's do what you need to do. So that's my thing. I just wish that the female rappers, the female singers, the legends, all of the female artists start coming together and putting these female artists out and being major players in the industry. Diddy is not the only person that can sign a female artist. Rick Ross, you feel me? So, no, yeah, man.
I feel that 100%. And someone in the comments had brought up, Cardi and Megan and Remy. I'll give a quick rundown of that. Cardi, I'm not too fond of her music. I do love her personality. Her personality sells Cardi B for me.
Yep.
Stallion, I listened to her new album when she dropped it. I almost did a review on it, and I just ended up not doing it. But it was an okay album. My problem with Meg is she overuses her ad-libs. She does the one too many times throughout a song for me. And that even for a male artist, doing too many ad-libs will turn me off the song. It feels like it's lazy when it comes to the writing of songs. But Remy Ma, to me, kind of gets overlooked, and she was, with Fat Joe, and Fat Joe did seem like he truly wanted to see her be able to be who she wanted to be. He let her rap about whatever she wanted to rap about, and Remy is just talented all around when it came to what she did and what she meant to hip hop, not just on the female aspect, but I know a lot of guys that fuck with Remy Ma because she could rap her ass off.
Yep. And she's overlooked. Rhapsody is overlooked. There's a lot of female artists that spit, but they're overlooked because they're not showing their body. That's why I'm saying, with as many female artists that have come and gone who went through that, you would really think that female artists would say, okay, we have to make a place for us. I also feel like with Remy, because she went back and forth with Nicki, not like that, but Nicki is a bigger artist. Nicki may not say it, but Nicki can stop shit. That's real. Yep. You got the barbs, all over everything. You don't know who's a barb that's in the industry, that's a CEO, that can make a phone call. So even when it comes to that, it's messed up because both of those artists should have been able to breathe the same air at the same time. They should have been able to eat at the same time. Not saying that Remy Ma not eating. I'm sure she do her shows. She come out with her mixtapes and stuff like that. She's still doing her thing. But as far as a Nicki level, it has to be a woman that says, okay, we can have Nicki, we can have Cardi, we can have Rhapsody, we can have Remy, we can have all of these women be major players at the same time on the radio and in the industry. You don't have to put this one way up on the pedestal. And if you are up on the pedestal, you bring those other girls. Cardi is not the most lyrical, but you see what she does. Yeah. She just hopped on a real song. You see what she does. She does reach back to the female artist. Okay, let me pick you up because I didn't start rapping. You feel me? I got into it, got on the show, and I blew up. So for the ones that's really out there, because even she'll tweet and be like, Rhapsody, woo, woo. She's made her tweets and she's done her interviews. where she talks about the female rappers who don't get shine. It's not bad to do that. You know, a person like Nicki Minaj, being the fact that this is her rap game right now, it's way too many artists that she could be bringing along. But she's in fear. She's in fear of her status, of her pedestal, of her seat as the queen. She don't want, how I look at it, is certain artists that she picks from, but the certain artists that she picks from ain't nowhere near her lyrical ability. If you look at her remixes, even the recent one, they're nowhere near her lyrical ability.
Yeah.
So it has to be that female rappers, I hope I'm the one that do it. It's time. It's time for us to have real unity like Queen Latifah was talking about and put each other on.
So
and I see, sorry, but the comment they keep saying Doja Cat. Doja Cat is very talented. Doja Cat is a great writer. But from the things that she's doing on social media, that's kind of bringing down the fact that she is talented. That's why I say it got to be artist development.
Yeah.
You way up there, your brand is up there. Don't bring your brand down, man.
When you were bringing up Missy, it slipped my mind to bring it up. You had brought up how Missy's produced for a lot of people. I'm pretty sure the song she did with Lizzo, she produced that for Lizzo. Mm-hmm. Lizzo is another one that her personality is great on social media. Mm-hmm. She makes people laugh. She's all about body empowerment. And she's just also a talented rapper, just an artist in general, because I had never seen somebody just break out and start playing the flute at a concert.
That's why I said they still don't have a place for female rappers, because she's not a rapper. She's not an MC. She's a talented artist. She's a talented singer. She can play the flute. She's a talented musician. But it did enrage me and other female artists when she's winning awards in the female rapper category.
Yeah.
What bars have she spit? I ain't heard 116 yet. I ain't seen it. I ain't seen her in the battle rap. I haven't heard a freestyle. I ain't seen her in a cypher. I've done my research on her as far as the industry. She's very talented as a writer, and I don't know if that's singing or talking or that's her own thing that she does, but she's very talented at that. But a rapper, baby, is what she's not. And I feel like they downplay the real female rappers when you put these people in a category. Doja Cat is in the category because she sings and she spit. Lizzo is an artist. She's a singer. She's a pop singer, or I don't really know what her category is, but they do need to stop calling her a rapper, like Post Malone. He should not be winning awards in the rapper category when he's a singer. He's a singer. I ain't heard it 100%. All the music that he makes is all sing song. It's not spit. So they need to fix that.
I've had this discussion with a lot of people, and they talk about Post Malone as a rapper. I'll tell you, I don't think I've ever heard him even call himself a rapper, because he doesn't classify himself as a rapper. He is an alternative artist who uses hip-hop beats, but he uses vocals instead of rapping. And to what you were saying with like Lizzo getting the awards, the whole award thing to begin with is fucked, because I respect Doja and she is very talented. She should have not have won R&B Artist of the Year over her. Her had an actual R&B album. Doja had a hip-hop album that had like 4 or 5 R&B songs on it. They have that whole categorization thing fucked up, and it's just stupid.
They don't know what to do. They don't. I feel like with hip-hop, they're still figuring it out. As old as it is, it just became the #1 music genre, a few years ago?
Yeah, I believe so.
You know, it finally topped rock and roll. That was just a few years ago. So it's still fresh. It's still new. They're still learning. And we got to continue to teach them. because they don't know. You feel me?
Yeah. To the question in the comments, yes, I would categorize Post Malone as a singer more than a rapper.
Mm-hmm.
He
Yeah, he do like the P-Kane thing.
Yeah. What would be some advice you would give to younger you and a younger person trying to do music?
To younger me, first, to younger me, I would have told myself to speak up earlier, and I would say to stay focused. I started having friends and things like that, and I lost focus throughout the years. There were a few years where I never stopped doing music. I was still performing and stuff, but I would tell myself, stay focused. Your friends, if they're your friends, if they love you, they're still going to be there, and they're going to support and encourage you to do something outside of the to somebody that's younger that's doing music, I would say the same thing. Stay focused. Stay true to yourself and stay focused. And you'll stay true to yourself by staying focused. The more that you put your mind on other people, you give your time away to things that are not beneficial to your career or to your success in whatever area you're trying to find success in, you're going to fail. So to have that youth, to be young, you can party. Party when you old. Party when you old. Party when you a millionaire. Party when you got yachts and jets, and that's when you party. Right now, you stay focused. Your teenage years, your 20s, your 30s, stay focused. Because when you get older, you ain't gonna wanna, you feel me, work this hard. And you're gonna be upset and have regrets of everything that you missed, all the time that you spent that could have been spent on your success. So all you young people out there, don't answer them DMs or them text messages or phone calls and they asking you to come to the club. If your friends ain't at the studio with you, if they ain't at the fashion show with you or downtown buying the clothes that need to be made, you feel me, to start your line, them ain't your friends. Stay focused. Believe in yourself.
What would you say is your idea of making it in the music industry?
Man, how my music is on TV. I used to want to be on Billboard. I used to want the #1 hits and all of that. But I want to be I've always also wanted to be in the back, making all the plays. I want to be that female artist that's writing for everyone, like a Missy, that's producing like a Missy. But I want to be that female artist that however I get my, foot in the door and however long I'm there, like I told you earlier, I want to make that female network. I want to make a female-based record label. And I want to teach women, educate them. I want to empower them, equip them with what they need to know and how they need to conduct themselves in order for their legacies to be long lasting and to have a good legacy. But that's what I want as far as me being in the music industry as a female artist. I want to be a mogul, but not because I'm the best female rapper of all time.
This question people kind of get tripped up on, so I'd have to try and think of a way to word it differently. What would be some change you want to see in your community, whether it be in the hip-hop community or in the community of LA?
The anger, the violence, negativity, the I'm better than you. That's what I would like to see change in the hip-hop community and in my community. Because I feel like the hip-hop community comes out of that community. A lot of the people that come into hip-hop came from less than. You got kids who, because they wear Jordans, they think they better than a child who had on Payless shoes. That's what I want to change. It's not about that. It's about this. It's about your character. It's about your heart, you know? I would like to see more people in hip hop be role models and take that responsibility on again like they used to. And know that the things that you say, the things that you do, it does influence the next generation. It influences future generations and this generation. And if you act like that, you're telling the community that doesn't have money, you're telling them that that's how to be separate. If you have a little more than the next person. In my community, you can't even walk past somebody and say hi without them getting upset. It happens to me all the time. I always say hi to people, and people look at me like, who the hell, you know? But I would like to see people stop being so mad and stop feeling like you got to be the hardest person. Just because you loud and just because you beat people up, that don't make you hard. That makes you scared. You're just showing how much in fear you are. So you feel like you have to do and say these things to make people back away from you. And we need unity. We don't need to walk away from one another. We don't need to separate from one another. We have so many odds against us, being that we're in poverty or in the inner city, and it's not enough poured into the inner city. Let's start doing that. You know, let's bring happiness. Let's bring hope. Let's bring joy. And we can do that, like Rich Homie Quan said the other day, stop with all that pow, 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 and really, really make music again that people can feel, that people are going to turn away and say, okay, well, such and such said make a change. So instead of me going to kill him because he a blood, I'm going to go over there and help him with his tire because I see he got a flat tire. That's what I want to see.
Yeah, I agree. The violence, like, I can't even count. It's sad to think that I can't even count on my two hands how many artists have been lost this year from violence, just from they were caught without their piece out in public trying to be normal people enjoying their life, and they were gunned down by either an ex-rival gang member or just some crazy person that had it out for them because they were mad that such and such blew up and they didn't. It's a sad thing that we live in. Like, one of my closing statements I'll have before we kind of talk about your discography, and I just kind of want to hear your opinion on it because you've been dropping a lot of gems this whole interview, and I appreciate that.
No problem.
There was recently an artist, I wish I could remember what artist it was. He was being recorded and he talked to the camera. They had asked him, like, what would be some advice you'd give to a younger artist? And he told him, don't quit your day job to do this. Like, don't be afraid to have a real job and make music. Don't go broke trying to make music. Keep working and use that money to promote yourself. To think that, I'm just going to not work and only focus on music is, I won't say stupid because people are going to do what they want to do. I don't want to make someone think I'm calling them stupid for what they're trying to do, but at the same time, you have to have a form of income to make music. Even if you are making the beats yourself, even if you're recording in your own home studio, if you're doing all your mixing and mastering yourself, to copyright your music costs money.
Yep.
Get a feature. Most times it's going to cost you money. To promote your music is always going to cost you money to promote your music. You have to have a form of income to support becoming an artist.
Now, don't quit your day job. A lot of these artists, because even when you break down streams, 1 million streams is a $4,000 check. $4,000. That's not okay. I got 1 million, so every day I'm getting a $4,000 check. That's 1 million. Okay, tomorrow is 1,000,001. Not 100, not 11 million, 100 million with one. The third zero, what? 1 million. Yeah, that last zero at the end of 1 million is now a 1. You don't get another $4,000 check. Not until you get another 1 million. So that 1 million has to turn to 2 million. And when you break it down and you look at, well, if I go to work, and I'm making $17, $18, $19, $20 an hour, Lord willing, you making about what, $2,000, $3,000, $4,000 a month?
roughly or so, yeah. Before tax.
So you're gonna stop your job because you got one $4,000 check? You know how hard you gotta work to get that second million, or your song gotta be hella viral for them millions to keep coming in as far as the streams. So it's better for you to keep your job, wait until, man, I say wait until you really get them physical millions. And even when you get those physical millions in your bank account, now you don't have to work multiple jobs, but like you were saying earlier, have multiple hustles. You're still working. You know, it doesn't have to have anything to do with music. You can have a grocery store. You can have a gas station. You know, Waka Flocka has gas stations. You can do those type of things, and you're still working. It may not be a 9 to 5, but own 9 to 5s now. You feel me?
Yeah.
Don't just put your all into music unless you're gonna be somebody like a 50 Cent who knows how to. He got $1 million went and invested in vitamin water. If you know how to do stuff like that and you're willing to take risks like that, quit your job, quit your day job. But if you're not willing to take that risk, or you can't go a night, you feel me, without eating and without lights and stuff like that, you need to make sure you go to work. When my songs hit TV, I was working 4 jobs. 4. I'm not lying. From 6 in the morning till 4 in the morning. 2 hours of sleep. Actually, an hour and a half, because I had to be at the next job again at 6, getting off at 4 in the morning, and had to be at the next job at 6 and do it all over again. And my music is on TV. I still work now. I have a full-time job, thank God. This is the first time I've only had to work 1 job. But I'm not finna quit my job because my music is on TV. I ain't got $6 million in my bank account. Now, when I got $6 million in my bank account and I can start investing that money and stuff like that, and it's bringing me revenue, then I'll quit my low, hourly job. But until then, stay grounded. Even with these celebrities, yeah, they may have quit their jobs, but like we were saying earlier, look at how much they signed away to that label. Because now the label has to make sure their rent is paid. They got to make sure they're in the house. It's not bought by them. It's leased to the label. They got to make sure they have transportation. Your label becomes like your mom, your dad. Your label becomes who you were supposed to be to you. Yeah. You feel me? Take on all your responsibility. When you get them physical millions, then you consider quitting. Until then, you better put your uniform on.
Yeah, or just at the very least, like we were saying, like have side hustles, do something to have income to support your lifestyle, to where you're not killing yourself trying to make music and hope that you blow, because it is. And that's why, like, a lot of the guys that I'm really close with in this industry that are around me, for them, this isn't their goal isn't to be some major star. To them, that's just a bonus if that happens. To them, they just want to be able to make music because they love making music, and be able to live off making their music comfortably without having to work the 9 to 5. If they could pull $4 to $5 grand a month in music, they would be completely content with it, because they get to do what they love and make the money they make doing it.
Yep.
So we'll start here. We can't go over your whole discography. We'll be here for another 2 hours. But we'll start with your album Meal Ticket you released in 2019.
Wait. To answer this question, is longevity still important to you? Longevity is very important, because like he said, you have your hustles outside of the music, but longevity, your legacy, you want it to last. Like I said, I get in the industry. My goal is no longer to be the best female rapper. My goal is no longer to have #1s on Billboard. My goal is the writing. And the more TV shows, the more films that my music is placed in, when I'm long gone, because we got streaming now. At first it was just reruns. Now we have streaming. It may be something new after that. But when I'm long and gone, somebody in 2060 something is going to turn on the TV and they may watch a rerun or an old stream or whatever they're going to call it in the future, and they'll hear my music. That's longevity. You feel me? So it is important to me. It does matter to me. I feel like that's why from the time my music first got placed until now, that's why I've been kind of working vigorously on that and really focusing more on that than I have been as far as myself just as an artist. Because when I'm old, when I'm no longer attractive, when nobody is no longer buying my music, and you have to think about that. I don't care how much surgery you get on yourself, you're going to get old. You do need to think, how am I going to continue to get paid? How will my name continue to stay out there? How will my brand be everlasting? And it's by the choices that you make, the decisions that you make, the moves that you make to ensure longevity. It's very important to me.
So in 2019, you released your album Meal Ticket. What was the creative process behind this album? Because you have a song on there called Fake Friends K, Word from My Mama, and then it switches up and you got like I don't give a fuck skit, Sippin' Hennessy. Like, what was the creative process behind this album?
While I was doing that album, my brother, he was still alive. He died before I finished that album. So when I started writing it, the process for me was I wanted to show people like I'm not done. Like y'all think y'all know me, but it's more, that I have in store. I did a lot of writing on my way to work. Believe it or not, I did a lot of writing at work. So my writing process for that project was, if you see a piece of paper, use it. I'm talking about paper towels. I was in the bathroom. I used to be a teacher. I was a preschool teacher at this time. So I would go to the restroom and stuff. If I had an idea, try to hurry up, write it down. So my creative process was, if you see a piece of paper, if you have an idea, write it down. The recording process, I was in the studio probably 2-3 times a week, going straight from work to the studio, from the studio to work. And the process in the studio, I was working with D-Cat. He's a producer and engineer. He engineered on Jay-Z's Blueprint album. He engineered Who Let the Dogs Out. He engineered for Snoop Dogg. So I was soaking up everything that he was telling me during that creative process. I'm writing. Matter of fact, I was also recording at my home studio. So I had most of the project done. When I took it to him, I was re-recording and he was enhancing maybe the instrumental or maybe my background vocals, and I was redoing the verses or something like that. But I was very hands-on. Everything was, I felt like it was on me. That's the only thing that I thought. It's all on me. Make or break. I don't care who's producing. I don't care who's the engineer or who's putting it out. It's on me if it's going to be a success or if it's going to fail. So the whole process was every day, write. Every day, record. Every day, write. Every day, record. At work, at home. When you first wake up, that's the last thing you do before you go to sleep. So that process was crazy. Mentally, it was a lot of creativity flowing. A lot. Because that's all it was. It was just me, my mind just going. And like I said, I just felt like this was like a make it or break it for me. So the process was just stay focused, stay consistent, stay writing all day, every day. That's all I did. And then when my brother passed away, there were a couple songs that I recorded after he passed away. The IDGAF, that was not for him, but he liked when I used the letters. I've made songs back in the day. It would be like, SOS or IOI, I'm on it. So he liked that type of thing. So that's why I did IDGAF. But the process was, it's all on you.
And then you released multiple singles throughout that time, and then in 2020, you released an album titled #Quarantine Bay, hosted by
Yes.
DJ Hush. What was the creative process behind this album?
Man, we was in quarantine. The pandemic had just hit. I was at home every day. You couldn't really go nowhere. And I was reading people's Facebook posts, and somebody told me to not say this anymore because it'll probably give people pointers. But I was just reading Facebook posts. All those songs, that's what it came from. I was just reading Facebook posts and how people felt about the pandemic. What were other people doing? Like the song Lock In is about a couple having sex during the pandemic. That was literally a post that I saw. Literally, a girl was talking about, I didn't have sex 6 times today. I'm tired. Like that was literally a post. Every song on there. It all the thinking process was I have to be like the legends, and years from now, when we're out of this quarantine and somebody wants to know about this quarantine, they're going to go back and listen to my mixtape. The last song on there, I talked about how they were talking about martial law. Donald Trump was laughing at first, when they first announced that it was a pandemic coming in. Oh, he laughed. It was all fun and games. Then I started giving the statistics. I started giving the numbers. I put a couple news interviews or anchors from the news on there to show people this is real. It really happened. So from Healthy all the way to the last song, yeah, the whole process was reading people's Facebook posts, and mentally I just was like, I want to be like the legends. Years from now, when this is over, I want to have that soundtrack for the pandemic. So
I like it. That's fucking smart and inventive. So definitely.
Thank you.
I will say this: fuck all politics, though. They're all crooked.
Now that's another conversation. Because you feel me, you thinking like I'm thinking.
I ain't too big on politicians. I'm pissed because I'm in Ohio, and there's a dude over here that literally has the same name as me that's running for senator or some shit like that. So I'll be seeing my name on signs and stuff, and I'm going to be ripping them up.
You funny.
Oh, okay.
Funny.
Male-dominated arena is what she was asking.
I think for a long time, it will be. It was through the 80s. It was through the 90s. It has been in the 2000s and the 2010s. But you see that it is more female artists that's coming out. Yeah. It's just that, like I said, somebody is going to have to train the next female legends. They're going to have to do artist development. They're going to have to teach them. In order for them to have longevity, they got to know where they came from. So I think at one point in time in our life, we may be old, but I think once we will see it turn around one time.
I agree. I mean, the 2020s have, I would go as far as to say it's right now in the 2020s, there's a lot of female artists that are dominating hip-hop.
That's true.
They're getting a lot of streams. They're capitalizing on the market at the time. Man, it's good.
Yeah, we may see it. Like I said, we're gonna see that turnaround once, at least once.
So, what was the creative process behind your Pearl Heart EP?
Okay, so funny thing. The first song I recorded was "Do Me Right." That day, I had went to the dentist. I had to get 2 teeth pulled. I had the reel on my page. I had to get 2 teeth pulled, and not only did they pull the teeth, but they had to put these straws or something. Then the straws dissolved, but they had to put them in my jaw, so my mouth was real big. Giga, he asked me. He said, "Are you sure you want to go? Start your project today? We could always, reschedule." The producer that he scheduled the time with was J-Hawk. He's an LA legend when it comes to the jerk movement. Cat Daddy and all of those songs, you know. So I was like, nah, I'm going to go. I think I took a pain pill, went to the studio. Literally, my mouth was like this, and I did that song, and you can't even tell that my mouth was messed up. So that process was still like, it's a make it or break it, but it was just like, I'm going to show them that I'm here and I ain't going nowhere. It doesn't matter what happens. It doesn't matter what happens in my life. It doesn't matter what happens around me. I need y'all to know that if this is what I want to do, this is what I'm going to do. So the 5 songs on that EP, that was just me expressing my maturity as a woman, because I'm an adult. So expressing my maturity as a woman, but solidifying, I feel like, my position as a female rapper, and just letting people know I ain't nothing to fuck with. On the microphone, you feel me? You can't fuck with me. And they'll tell you I came to the studio jacked up, and I still got on the microphone. And the song still, they played the video, premiered the video on No Jumper. So great things happened out of that project. My whole process was like, nah, I'm about to show them. I'm here to stay. I ain't going nowhere.
I love it.
Yeah.
You was on your through the wire bullshit right there.
Yeah, I was on some Kanye West. Some Kanye West. That wasn't even a thought, but it was like, if you don't go to the studio just because your mouth is like that, you don't really want it that bad. So I went.
And then we'll start here in 2020. We'll move on here in 2021. You released Looks Are Deceiving.
Mm-hmm.
What was the creative process and the reason why you made this track?
Honestly, I did that song in like 2019. And when I first made that song, I just heard the beat. A lot of times when I write, I won't say nothing. Like, I won't freestyle or nothing. I just listen to the beat over and over and over, because the music will tell you what you should say. It really will. You just got to listen. And that's what I did with that track. I just listened. And then I wrote. And then I was like, okay, I'm going to rap it and sing it. And that's how it came out. Looks Are Deceiving. But as far as when I realized what I wrote, the song Looks Are Deceiving was talking about, basically, just because you see me with someone does not mean that I'm with that person. A lot of times, I would say in my adult life, when I was working with people, it was mostly men, and people get this misconception that you're sleeping with them, or that because they're spending money for videos and XYZ, oh, you have to be doing something to get them to do that. That's why I said looks are deceiving. You know, you see me, hopping out of a foreign car, or you see me with a guy, that ain't who I'm with. I'm handling my business. I ain't sleeping with this person. Looks are deceiving. It look like it is, but it ain't. So that's where that came from.
And then what about your track Joe Go Crazy?
Man, I just was going crazy. Now that one, when I heard the beat, I just started going. And I think I was upset. Someone made me mad. I can't remember who, but someone made me mad. And if you go back and listen to any of my music, you can tell when I'm pissed off, because the lyrical ability is crazy. The wordplay, the aggression, and go crazy. That's where, that came from somebody pissing me off. And I got the beat. Shout out to G5. Went in the studio, talking all that nonsense. You done woke up my conscience. They don't love me anyway, so I'm only here for profit. You feel me? Calling me a star, looking for the nearest rocket, asking if I got it, but wait, what's in your pocket? Real talk.
That's fire right there. Somebody in the comments asked, would you date a rapper knowing the business?
No, no. I've always said that. No, I wouldn't want to date nobody in entertainment. Let's be real. I wouldn't want to date no basketball player. That's a part of entertainment. I wouldn't want to date an actor. I wouldn't want to date nobody who no longer realizes that they're still a normal person. Now, if you down to earth like me and you know that this ain't nothing but a business, you know this how you make your money, you have to be a character in order for them to like you or whatever. If you could do that on screen and then when you come home, you're still a regular person, maybe. But if you think that because they chanting your name on stage that I'm about to chant your name when you walk through the door, that's not about to happen. I wouldn't want to date anybody in entertainment that already was in entertainment before I got in because they've already been hurt. They've already been used. They've already been abused. They already got a wall up. If they haven't been hurt, abused, or used, they still have a wall up. You feel me? Because they already know what's in the industry. They may look at me as somebody that see them as a check. And I don't think that I should have to be sitting there breaking down a wall to get to know somebody or be with somebody. I'm real. Just be real with me. So I don't think I would want to date anybody in any area of entertainment. I'd rather date a teacher. I'd rather date a doctor. I'd rather date somebody that's regular because they're living in reality every day. I don't want nobody that's living a fantasy and they think that that's going to be the reality that they have with me because, yeah, it ain't happening.
So we'll talk about Perky, and then I just got 2 more questions for you, and then I'm going to give you the floor. So what was the creative process behind Perky where you had a feature with Nisha Brawl?
Me and her, we were supposed to do a song or music years ago. I've been knowing her for years. It just never happened. And shout out to her label, 90K Records. We made it happen. And I was sent the beat, but I had already written the song. I write a lot too without instrumentals. And when I heard the beat, I was at work on graveyard. I was on a graveyard shift, probably like 2, 3 in the morning. And I got the beat. I was listening. I went into my iPhone. I voice record because I don't really use a tape recorder like that anymore, but I voice record and I write lyrics. So I was at work, listening to the beat, I'm going through my lyrics, and the hook, as you hear, it actually came from the verse. It's 4 bars that came from 1 bar that's repetitive, 2 bars that came from the verse. I just split them up. Feeling perky, I don't pop the perky, Lord have mercy. Ain't had no baby by no nigga, ain't no nigga worthy. Feeling perky, I don't pop the perky, Lord have mercy. Going hard with this ball and dress me in a jersey. Those were my bars. So after I see that the verse fit on the beat, then I just was like, okay, let me see if I can come up with a hook. And I just took those bars, sang it repeatedly, and then it stuck. Then when we went to the studio, I told her we were supposed to do like writing or something. And I said, well, just listen to what I have. If you like it, we'll use it. And then if not, then, you know, she can add whatever, take away whatever. So they heard it. They liked it. She went in there. She killed her verse. And it was a done deal. It wasn't a long, like we was in the studio 2, 3 hours writing. We got popcorn and liquor. And nah, it wasn't like that. I was at work. I did it. We got to the studio. I asked them to let me do it. Once I did it, they liked it. She did hers. There you go. And Perky was a play on the word, you know, perky breasts to the, you know, perky. So it was a play on the word, but it was also a play on the pill. I don't do pills. I don't pop pills. But it was a play on the pill. Everybody talk about Percocet, Percocet, Percocet. And I said, okay, when people hear that title, the first thing they're going to think is she's talking about either perky ass, perky titties, or she's talking about Percocets. That was just for them to click. Click, so you can hear what I'm saying. Because off the top, when you see Perky, you're gonna think sexual or you're gonna think drugs. But when you listen to it, it's like, oh shit, she ain't talking about that. She's talking about being Perky. She's turned up. You feel me?
Yeah.
So that was just a play on the words.
That's smart. This is a huge callback real fast, but when we were talking about like men and women and music, a good way for me to describe it is a lot of women don't like Future because of the things he says in his music that are degrading to women. If you ask men what their thoughts are on Summer Walker, it's about the same thing because she is a female version of Future. It's they both have that lane. But one of my other questions I thought about is when we were talking about you going out of state and performing shows, do you remember what you felt the very first time you took stage? Because you talked about being such a shy person growing up and quiet person. So I'm just curious what that feeling was like for you the first time you performed live.
I was shy, but once I opened my mouth, it's over. I don't. When I get back off stage, like if you ever see it in person, if you ever witness a show, I'm the person that's in the corner going over my lyrics at the show. While everybody else is drinking and smoking and trying to act like they something that they not on social media, I'm the one that's in the corner. Whatever song is on, I don't care if it's a Kodak Black. I'm rapping my lyrics to that beat that I'm going to be rapping tonight. I just have to, I got to rehearse. I got to practice. I'm the person that's quiet. I swear. If I'm in VIP, I'm sitting away from everybody. If I'm not in VIP and I'm a part of the crowd before I go on stage or backstage, I'm in the corner. I'm going over my lyrics. I'm replaying my songs in my ear with my phone because mentally I'm preparing myself. When I get on stage, though, all that quiet, it goes out the window. I'm in your face. I'm doing what I'm supposed to do. You feel me? I'm being an artist. I'm being that character that I portray, PYT. When I get off stage, I'll go and I'm networking. But for the most part, I go right back into how I was before I got on that stage. And I tell you, it blows people's minds. Because they look at me as, oh, your music is turned up. You be all in people's face. I think you should be popping bottles and shaking ass and woo woo. When I get on stage, oh, I'm super turned up. Once I get off that stage, though, I'm back to reality. I want to leave so I can go back home because I want to write. I got a song in my head now after seeing all these people on stage. The experience that I had, like I'm right back to the music. Like performing out of town. My first one was performing in Las Vegas. I opened up for YG. I was the only opener. I opened up for YG. I wasn't nervous. I was excited to go somewhere and they didn't know me. And the reaction that I got, we performed for a high school. The reaction that I got was just, man, that's what I'm saying. I like performing for people that I don't know because I like that wow factor. I like to see if I'm really that good. People around you tell you that you're good, and I'm not saying that they don't think that way, but when people that you don't know are crowding around you and asking you for autographs, like I'm signing people arms, I didn't sign faces, and it's like it's an experience. So for me, I love it. The first experience performing out of state, I loved it. And I welcome every opportunity I get to perform outside of California.
To kind of segue into this last question, in an interview, you had kind of spoke that, your lyrics are just lyrics and that PYT is more a persona. It's not who you are. That is just your persona. So I was just wondering if you could elaborate a little bit more on that because a lot of artists don't open up about the music they make is just entertainment. It's not actually who they are.
I will say that there are some songs where I've talked about my upbringing, things I went through. There are some songs where I've talked about dealing with a guy or something. There are some of those, but for the most part, my music, I'm telling stories. I'm telling stories. I'm either telling stories of maybe things I've went through, or things that I've seen people around me go through, or things that I've seen on television. Like I told you, the quarantine, that was all based off Facebook posts. So with the lyrics, I want to say that they pertain to me, but at the same time, they don't. When I say that PYT is a persona, that's not my name. That's my character. That's my persona. That's my image. That's my artist. As a person, my name is Maya. PYT and Maya are separate. They're two different things. There was a point in time I had insomnia real bad because I couldn't separate the two. It was music 24/7. And when I say 24/7, I'm saying I didn't sleep. It was PYT 24/7 because creatively, I had to get that stuff out. But I've learned as I got older that PYT is something I can turn on and turn off anytime I want to. I feel like a lot of these artists, they get so wrapped up in the artist, that name, that lifestyle, that they forget who they really are, their birth name, who they are when they get off that stage. I think some people don't like who they are outside of the artist because their life may not be so entertaining, or it may not be so lit as people say now. But for me, I know how to turn it off. Me right now talking to you, this is Maya. This is Maya talking to you because I'm telling you the difference between PYT and Maya. When I'm talking to you about business, that's Maya. PYT is the one that's talking about, well, yeah, if Diddy's sleeping with her, he better be teaching her. That's PYT. PYT is the shit talker. PYT is going to tell you the real, but it's the way that I say it. In my music, PYT is very in your face. I'm aggressive. I need you to hear me. You go hear me. But Maya, I'm real calm and cool. I'm going to say what I got to say, and that's it. You know, I'm reading books. You know, I'm at home. I want to be by myself. PYT, that's for everybody. That's for everybody. And I'm going to say this to anybody that's an artist, actor, basketball player, or whatever. Kobe Bryant on the court was not Kobe Bryant at home.
No.
There's the difference. You feel me? When you get in front of people, whatever area of success that you're in, even when you go to work, that's a different you. That's not you. That's not the person that you are at home. When you go to church, when you anywhere that you go that's outside of yourself, outside of your family and friends that know you, you are being somebody else, or you are showing people what you want them to see. Once you get back to yourself and people that know you, you can be you. So yeah, PYT is somebody I could turn on and turn off. I am very aware that she's a persona, and that's it. She's a rap artist. That's it.
I'm going to give you the floor. Is yours to plug anything you got going, your socials, all that stuff.
I just want to say thank you for this interview. This has been a great interview. The questions that you've asked, even allowing me to talk about the business and not only talk about it, but converse with you, you know, because you know, and I can tell. So I want to say thank you for this interview, and to any artists that have tuned in, you need to hit him up because as you see with my interview, I don't know if you're going to get the same one as me, but you feel me, hit him up. And then for everybody that's watching, they call me PYT. I'm a female rapper, writer, performer, artist from Carson, California. I write my own music. I write for television. Follow me at They Call Me PYT on all social media. Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, SoundCloud, iTunes, streaming platforms now. YouTube, everything is They Call Me PYT. Any platform that you go on, if you're looking for me, put They Call Me PYT. Guarantee I pop up. TheyCallMePYT.com. You guys make sure you visit my website, Vibes Apparel, LA.net, Vibes Apparel _ LA.93 on Instagram. That's the clothing brand. You feel me? So make sure you guys follow the clothing brand. But yeah, I gave my social media. I thanked you. What I want to leave though with everybody, branding. From the time I got on the internet, every social platform that has come out from MySpace up until now, from AIM, AOL up until now, everything is They Call Me PYT. And for anybody out there that is going into business, entertainment, whatever, brand yourself. Every time a new platform comes out, even if you don't plan on using it, get your profile. So when people type your name in, it's all this stuff pop up. You feel me? Your whole bio, all your links, everything. Make it simple for people to find you. Everything don't need to be Hot 69, but your rap name is Mr. Cool. Your Instagram can't be Hot 69 tongue out. You feel me? So branding. Make sure you guys brand yourself. Whatever name that you rocking with, business, artist, whatever, make sure on all your social media, on any platform that they come out with now or in the future, put it under the name that you are branding. Okay? And that's it. That's all I gotta say. Y'all be blessed, stay focused, and stay safe.
All right. I want to say thank you for what you said. I really appreciate that, and you've been a tremendous guest. Like, these type of interviews are the ones that I really enjoy. Not just hearing answers, but like you said, conversing, because I'm a talkative motherfucker and I own that. So I love being able to converse with people. So I appreciate you conversing with me on a lot of different topics, because I feel like if any young artist does watch this, they'll learn a lot, not just music wise, but the business aspect of this industry, ways to be successful without getting screwed by major labels. So
Yeah.
I really appreciate everything you said and for giving me this much of your time.
No problem. I thank you.
All of PYT's links will be in the description on YouTube. So if you're watching on YouTube when this goes up, click her links, give her a follow. If you're an artist and you want to collaborate with her, I advise it. And if you are ever in Ohio, reach out, because I have a lot of friends in media outlets that do like Wordplay Wednesday videos where they have artists come in and they let them freestyle.
Okay.
Just reach out if you're ever in Ohio, and I'll link you up with some other hip hop.
Hey, don't tell me that. Don't tell me that, because once I touch down, I'm be like, hey, you're going to be looking at your DM like, oh, shit.
But, all right. Once again, I appreciate you coming on, and everyone that stuck through this entire interview, I appreciate it so much.
Yeah, appreciate y'all. Love from the West Coast, And you stay cool out there in Ohio. I'm not sure if it's hot or if it's cool right now.
It's starting to cool down now. It was a hot summer. Now we get into that fall Midwest weather, and it's getting to where I like is about but, all right.
Okay. Thank you, man. Thank you. You have a great night too. And I'll be sending your profile to people. I think you're a really dope interviewer, and I think that any artist that I know should hop on your platform. You ask great questions.
I really appreciate that. That means a lot.
Have a good night, man.
You too. Take it easy.
Bye, you guys.
See ya.